we're just going to go right in and get started with floor bar. So for the most part, you're on your back, and then at one point we do flip over onto our stomachs. So we're going to start, I'm going to face the back so you can see what my legs are doing. All right, so actually I'm going to go to the side. So the first thing you'll do is you'll lay flat on your back while I do this, to kind of really get into your hips and your rotators. Feet pointed, and then you're just going to turn out from your hips and turn in. Turn out and turn in. So you're really activating all of the muscles in your legs, into your glutes, firing up your hip flexors, really thinking about turning out from your hips and not from your knees, and also when you turn in. So you start doing that with your legs on the ground for your chorus and your verse. And then you bring it up. Your arms can kind of do whatever. They can go underneath your hips if they need to, out to the side, kind of whatever you need to do. Just really make sure you're engaging your abs. So your feet are up, feet are still pointed, and then you do the same thing. Really working your hip flexors and your rotators. Do the same thing. And then the next move, you stay turned out and you're just going to do a plie and a point sequence. So you start with your feet pointed, you flex on 1, plie 2, up 3, point 4. And then you just do that on the tempo of your own song for about a verse and a chorus. And you're really going to feel it. So really thinking about when you go down into your plie. And this is kind of like a grand first. Essentially, it's as far as you can go. Just making sure you stay turned out. And the goal is like how you don't want your sits bones to sit back. You're just trying to get your heels as close to your pelvis as you can. And then the next one is you will actually go back with your legs on the floor. I have to keep referring to my notes. And you will be flexed. So it's like you're now standing. And then you just do your tendus from first. So really working through your feet, all parts of your feet. So you don't have the floor to really worry about if your shoes get stuck, if your socks get stuck. So you can really articulate all the parts of your feet, from your phalanges, your metatarsals, your tarsals, and then your ankle. So you do both sides, obviously left and right. And I do first, front, and then I go to the side for your second. So really making sure you're not kind of sliding on the ground. I'll do my other leg so you can see it. So you're not sliding on the ground, because that's not how everyone's turnout is. So you still want to go to your side. So you can see it's still up off the ground. It's still to your second. It's to your side. So you do your right and your left for your verse and your chorus. And then you go into fifth. So you're crossing like normal. And you do your tendus from first, or from fifth, I'm sorry, but you do front and you do side. So I usually do my front and then my side, and then I'll switch legs. You do your front and then your side for your verse and your chorus. All right, next move. Oh, my notes are back upside down. All right, and then you do, then we kind of go into the rondage. So dégagés, you can do them if you want to get a little bit faster, but obviously it's kind of the same thing, making sure you're articulating through your foot, but we're going to do a little ballet with a pulse thing. So then you're in, well, I think we went from first. Yes, we went from first. So you're going to do a half rondage. So since you're on your back, you really can't go to the back. So you just kind of do a little half rondage and you close. So you point front, carry it side, still holding your turnout, but make sure you go to your second, your side, and flex when you come back through, like you're going through first. It's a little half rondage. And you do that for your verse and your chorus. Alrighty. Next is, okay, here's the bottom thing. So this one is really, really important that you hold in your abs. And for me, I like to have my arms out to the side because it just kind of makes sure that my torso all the way to my pelvis is planted to the floor. So your feet are still flexed as if you're standing on the floor. And then you just bottom your leg up. So really, you really are focusing on just working through the leg and using the power through your leg to get it up, instead of thinking about, okay, I have to crunch to get my leg up higher. And no. So this is, you stay planted on the ground and you just do your bottom. So for me, I'm only getting, it looks like it's only about 90 degrees. So if you think about it, there's the floor, that's 90 degrees in front of me. And then, so you do right. I'd say do your right for about a verse and a chorus. And then I want you to stay up and I want you to pulse. You're really going to feel it. My quad is already shaking. And this is what you're just kind of working those muscles under tension, and that's where you're really going to build some strength, especially in your quad. And then you also do that on your left leg too. Whoo, I'm tight. I had leg day yesterday. Alrighty, so reminder, it's battements on just one leg, then you pulse. And then you do your other leg, and then you pulse. Okay. And then we kind of get into a little bit of ab work before we move to our stomachs. So once you do your battements, you can either go from like a 90-degree position or all the way up. I'd say start with the 90 and then go up. So 2 separate segments. So 90 and up. You're going to just do windshield wipers, and this essentially, it's going to get a lot into your obliques. So arms out to the side. Make sure your shoulders and your pelvis and your lower back stay firm to the ground. And you just go, you rock to the side as far as your abs can allow. So once your shoulders start wanting to lift, a lot of times, so if you're going to the left, you're going to feel your right shoulder wanting to lift up. So when the opposite shoulder starts to lift, use your abs and bring them back to the top. Only go as far as you can before your shoulder starts wanting to lift. So this is like the lower abs and your obliques. So remember, 90, and then you go up. The up one's a little bit harder, so if you find that this isn't really doing much for you, 1, squeeze your abs more. That always ends up getting me. And then if anything, just immediately go to up. Like I can't really get very far. Oh, hello. Oh, I can feel that in my back. All right. So those are the windshield wipers at 90 and straight up. And then we get into kind of doing like a full setup type thing. Actually, I really don't like those. We're not going to do that. Skip the full setup. Skip the full setup. All right. So then, get into our obliques a little bit more. It's like a Russian twist. You guys have most likely done this. I feel like if you do this in conditioning, in my jazz classes a lot at my studio, not necessarily in college, but my studio, we did these a lot for a warm-up. So, keep your heels on the ground or lift them up, and also make sure you're leaning back a little bit, and you just twist. But another extra challenge is sticking the leg out that you twist to out in front of you. So, woo, it's kind of like a bicycle oblique. Ooh, hello obliques. Really make sure you squeeze your abs. All right, and so then we're gonna go onto our stomach. So we do a little bit, we've got to our legs, we do our abs. Sorry, my computer screen's going black, so I'm gonna touch the button. Yay, I can see myself. All right, so we were on our backs, working into our legs, especially the quads. We did a little bit of abs. Excuse me. And now we're gonna go onto our stomachs for the last little bit. All right, so on your stomach. Okie dokie. Make sure you can still see me. I'm gonna back up a little bit. No, I will not hit the couch. All right. So same thing. Make sure that you're turned out from your hips. So it might be a little hard to see my feet. Right, turn at a little bit of an angle. There you go. Do a little bit of an angle. Okie dokie. So you're on your stomach. Start with your feet flexed but still turned out. I do not recommend being up like this because your back's really going to start to hurt. This is a good time to just rest your head, either forehead to palms or your head turned to the side. Where you're going to do your tendus back. You do your tendus back. So right foot, same thing as before, making sure you're really articulating through the phalanges, metatarsals, your tarsals, and your ankle. And it's just, but really making sure you're keeping both hip bones on the ground. You don't want to lift it up just yet. That brings us to our next one. So you do your tendus back. Remember, this is for a verse and a chorus of whatever song you choose. Just make sure it has a good beat because those are more fun. All right. And so then we go into our battements. So you're still turned out. Most likely you're just going to have like your toes on the ground. My turnout's a little bit stronger, so I'm close to getting my my heel's on the ground, like a full turnout, but I feel my hips are starting to want to lift a little bit. So I'm just going to go onto my toes. So I think you can kind of see. And so then with your so then you're going to do your bot miles back. This one, you're going to end up lifting your hips a little bit. But you don't want to lift it up too high because then you're going to end up going to the side. So essentially you want to stay on the ground. If you can hear me okay. Stay on the ground, just do your bot miles. You're not going to get it, and that's okay. This is really kind of working into your glutes and your hamstring a little bit more, and you're also going to strengthen your lower back, especially with this next part. So you do your bot miles, and then you pulse. Now is when you're really going to get your glutes and your lower back with that pulse. And so you do bot miles with your right foot, and you pulse. And then you go to the other leg, you bot mile, and then you pulse. And the next one, you really kind of get into your back a little bit. And we're also going to bring in some arms at the end. So let me go to the side now, because that's what you need. Okay, so we're kind of going to do a little bit of a Superman. So you guys most likely have done this before as well. It's like an ab, it's a back, so your core. So I've never been told the proper way to do a Superman. If you have to have your arms out in front of you, if you can keep them here. For the first one, just your normal Superman, do what you want with your arms. But essentially, you're lifting from your core and then back down. Don't let your upper body bring you up or your legs. Really try to keep it from the core and then let the rest of your body follow. So you go up and down, up and down. So you kind of do that. I usually keep my arms here, just also because I don't really have a lot of room to stick it out. I hit my little TV stand. So, but the next one, I'll go this way a little bit so I can reach my arms out in front of you. So the next one, you do need to try to get your arms out in front of you, because we're going to kind of do a little bit of a shoulder press. This is something that we do in my workout videos. I'm going to grab my TheraBand. Is that what those called? TheraBand? I think. So you can do this with a TheraBand. Lightweights, 1 to 2 pounds. Completely up to you. But if you have nothing, just normal shoulder press. I'm going to show you first without the TheraBand. So first, you go up. So your arms are out in front of you. You go up. You press in. So you're kind of tightening your shoulder blades. Out and down. So with the shoulder press, it's just out in front of you. You bring it in. And what I'm doing is I'm squeezing my upper back. And out. And then you go back down. I'll show you again. So this is basically a 4 count. So it's up 1, back 2, out 3. So with the TheraBand, get your hands kind of a little pretty close together. And then when you go up and then you pull, you're really kind of getting in the shoulders a little bit more because you are trying to stretch it out to get into the press and down. So those are just an options if you really want to get more. I'm really, really weak in my shoulders and my upper back. You guys know, I've told you. So the TheraBand really helps me. If I were to try to even go into like any kind of actual dumbbell, it probably would hurt my shoulders too much. But the TheraBand is just right for